What's up, guys? Today we got a pretty crazy story. Today we got a story of a parent who gives their son's birthday to his spoiled little cousin, right? So the subscriber, his parents, I don't know why, decided that, well, you'll see why, but I don't know how you could potentially justify this. Decide to give, the subscriber's birthday, like his birthday celebration that comes once a year, to his spoiled little cousin, because his little cousin was like angry that the spotlight wasn't on him. This is a pretty ridiculous story, but a pretty interesting one, and I think you will enjoy it. So sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new and like stories, leave a like on the video right now to claim your free nothing. With that being said, let's jump right into it. So anyways, right, the subscriber was turning 14, and you only turn 14 once. True fact, you only turn X age once, whatever, right? But yeah, it was a pretty big deal, and he was, his parents were preparing, to make him a little birthday party or something. So the plan was that he was going to have a birthday party at a mall, and I don't know if you've ever, had one of these parties or been to these parties, but some of the best birthday parties that I've ever been to were definitely the ones where you went to your local mall and maybe they had laser tag or something and it was near an arcade. I can remember a birthday party I went to that was it was both, there was a laser tag, but it was in an arcade. So you went to the arcade. I think there's roller skating too. It was awesome, right? But anyways, the subscriber was having a birthday party similar to that. He was getting pretty hyped up for it. So he was telling all of his friends in school. He was inviting all of them, telling about how cool it was going to be, how man, this is going to be awesome. You're really going to enjoy it. All that type of stuff, right? So yeah, sure enough, the subscriber's getting pretty hyped up for it. He's getting pretty getting ready, right? And that's when his parents kind of drop a little bit of a bombshell on him. So this is part one of part 7 billion to the bombshell. It just keeps coming. But they basically tell him that, his little cousin has already been invited. So I get it. The parents are the one kind of making the birthday party. They're orchestrating it. They're putting it together. I guess you could say that they're allowed to invite whoever they want. But also, it's also the kid's birthday party. You can't, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber, here's the thing. He knows his little cousin who's 10. Not only is the fact that they're there's enough of an age difference where they're kind of struggling to enjoy the same stuff. The last time he saw him, yeah, they played some games together or whatever. But a lot of times when you have not always, but a lot of times when you have such a large age gap, especially when you're growing up. I'm not saying someone who's 28 and 32 can't get along, but when you're growing up, things are just changing so quickly that, your perspective when you're 10, you're a totally different person, 2 times over, right? You're a totally different person, 4 years later. So they just didn't really have a lot to get along. And not only that, and if that was true, he wouldn't really care if he was invited to the birthday party because, okay, he's not going to hang out with them 100% of the time. But that's kind of expected because his other friends are there too. I'm sure the little cousin can go off and do fun things. The problem comes because the little cousin is one of the worst spoiled brats that the subscriber has ever met or seen on the internet or heard stories from. I don't know. I think this story happened actually before the subscriber found my channel, but he said probably one of the worst ones he's ever heard, even factoring in. So the subscriber isn't super happy when he hears the news because obviously a combination of he doesn't really, he's not he's friends in the sense that, they're cousins and they spend some time together, but they don't necessarily get along. And also this kid's notoriously a spoiled brat, as you can tell by the title of this video, that plays in pretty strongly, especially later on. Anyways, though, so, his parents are your little cousin is in is in town. We thought it would be the right thing to invite him. I know he isn't always the most fun, but family is super important, which is a principle I actually do agree. I do agree that family is super important in a lot of instances. That is a good thing. Unless your family's absolutely terrible. At the end of the day, a lot of times there will be some of the only people that are really there for you. Not in all cases, but it's a good thing to have strong family union, in my opinion. However, this kid's pretty annoying. Anyways, though, the subscriber thinks to himself, okay, really, how bad could this honestly be? Which was probably the wrong thing to ask because he was about to see how bad it really could be. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber's okay, fine, whatever, that's cool. I'm going to have all my friends here anyways. In addition to that, like, there's a whole arcade and lazy. There's a lot of cool stuff for him to do, meaning I'm not going to be stuck babysitting the whole time, which really is like the one thing the subscriber's like, I am not doing that. Out of everything, that is the one thing I refuse to do. His parents are like, yep, that's totally valid. That makes sense. We understand why you don't want to babysit this kid the entire day. That totally checks out. You're cool. So anyways, the subscriber's thinking at this point, all right, this can't be too bad. So let's flip forward to the day of the actual birthday party. It happens on a Saturday. And so they get there a little bit early. They've rented out the arcade type place for about 2 hours. So they get there a little bit early. There's a few other families still there, but they're wrapping up and they start setting up. And so the aunt and the little cousin get there a little bit early too. Just, I don't know, right? So it's the aunt came over to help set up, and, she was going to bring the little cousin anyways. So it kind of makes sense for him to come along as well, because it would make a lot of sense for her to drive over to help, to then drive back to get the little cousin, to then bring him to the place she was just at. So the subscriber has to spend a little bit of time with the little cousin. And immediately, the subscriber's like, oh, do you want to go, like, play with some of these, like, arcade games? And the little cousin's like, I can't believe it. I can't believe you. I can't believe... Why isn't this day about me? And the subscriber's like, well, I mean, it is my birthday. Like, this is my birthday because, it's my birthday party because it's my birthday. And the little cousin's like, I just don't get it. And the subscriber's like, oh boy. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, the subscriber's already starting to realize this probably isn't going to go down smoothly. This is probably going to be a little bit of a difficult time, and that, the little cousin will probably find a way to make this day all about him, as he always does. So the subscriber's like, all right, bud, like, look, you got full access to, an arcade. You can do whatever you want. Like, this seems like a pretty good deal. I'm not so sure why you're so upset right now. And the little cousin goes on to explain that, whenever there's something fun, it's always centered around him, so it just doesn't make a lot of sense, and, like, can he share his birthday party? So the subscriber's like, what? He's like, what do you mean share? I mean, you're here. Like, you're here. And that's the thing he's trying to explain. Like, the subscriber's like, dude, you're here at the birthday party. Yes, it is for me, but that doesn't mean that you don't have access to anything that I don't. Yeah, okay, people might bring some presents. Maybe I get first cut on the cake. Maybe there are a few things. Because it just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Yeah, sure, it's not your birthday. Because it's not your birthday. Like, well, what do you mean? The little cousin's birthday was in, 7 months. It's like, oh, this is your 7 months early birthday party as well? No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So the subscribers is like, dude, like, you basically get the same thing as me. Just kind of enjoy it here, whatever. So now people are starting to show up. So the subscriber has a reason to kind of ditch the little cousin, which makes a lot of sense. But at that point, the little cousin, he started to scheme. He started going scheming, right? So the little cousin goes over to talk to his mom, his aunt, or the subscriber's aunt. And that's where things start to go downhill. So so people start coming in. Everyone's really excited. Super cool birthday venue. It's a really nice spot. But that's when the subscriber's mom comes up to him. So at this point, right, the subscriber's like, hello, like, what's up? Because, I don't know, like, it wasn't time for laser tag, wasn't time to cut the cake or anything. So the subscriber, I kind of made it sound like he's being a jerk there. He wasn't like, what's up, Mom? Like, I'm hanging out with my friends. You better screw off. No, he wasn't like that, but he was like, what's up? Like, what's good? And his mom's like, hey, bud, so your cousin's feeling a little blue right now. And the subscriber immediately knew what was up. He immediately was like, oh, no way you're falling for that kid's trickery, for that kid's nonsense. There's no way you're falling for that. And, the subscriber's mom's like, I know, this is a little unorthodox. I know his birthday is in 7 months from now, but I was wondering if you'd be okay having this being a joint birthday party. And here's the thing. It wouldn't be that deep for it to be a joint birthday party, because what does that even mean? No one brought presents for him. The cake, okay, yeah, sure, maybe he would also get to blow it out, but it's just a bunch of candles, right? It's not really that deep. But here's the thing. The subscriber was so against it just on principle, right? Just on principle. Because one, this kid's birthday was in 7 months. This is not a joint birthday party. This is him trying to like take over another thing because he wasn't the center of attention. So the subscriber explains to his mom, like, I know it's like not that deep if we're being real, but also no, for the principle of it. Like, my little cousin, you know, for the first time in forever, something isn't 100% about him, so he decides to go over and demand that it's partly for him. Like, no, I don't think that is good for his development. Yeah, so the subscriber's mom's like, look, okay, I'm going to go to your aunt and we're going to talk a little bit about this. So basically, the little cousin must have gone to his mom and was like, Mom, like, let's make this a joint birthday party. I'm so sad right now. Why aren't we celebrating my birthday? It's only in 7 months from now, or something like that. So yeah, the subscriber goes back to doing what he's doing, and he's like chilling with his friends. And that's when he's pulled aside by his aunt. And his aunt looks so angry, and his like mom is with his aunt right now. And, you know, his aunt's like, I can't believe you wouldn't share this day, like, with your little cousin. Look how sad he is. And the little cousin's, like, standing over there moping or whatever. Probably, or most definitely playing a bit. Like, kid is definitely playing it up. Like, no question about it. But, yeah, sure enough, the aunt goes on to be like, it's not even that much to ask to, like, share it, like, your day today. You're still the only one getting presents, like... Yeah, maybe he'd also get first slice of the cake or whatever, but like, is that really that hard? It would completely make his day, and the fact that you'd say no over nothing just shows how shallow you are. And the subscriber turns to his mom, kind of looking for her to, I don't know, agree with him, because he explained the whole, my little cousin has been like babied his entire life, and maybe today's the day that he actually grows up. I don't know. But no, his mom, the subscriber's mom, epic anime betrayal right here. This is some Palpatine, Count Dooku, yes, Anakin can chop his head off type stuff. She's like, I think you should listen to your aunt here. It's really not that bad. And the subscriber, his mouth was wide open. Real quick, if you made it as far into the video, comment birthday down below. That'll be the secret word of the day. And also, I just want to remind you that if you use Spotify, make sure to listen to these podcasts on Spotify as well. There's a link in the description, but also I'm going to be trying to remind myself to put a link in the pinned comment. And finally, I'm also posting short stories on TikTok. It is Connor Pugs. I have about 10,000, 11,000 or so followers in there. Please make sure if you use TikTok to follow me in there. And finally, if you want to submit your stories, as these are all subscriber-submitted stories, there are now 2 official places you can do so, either my Instagram or my Twitter. They're both verified. They're both Connor Pugs. You just go there, you follow me, and then you just DM me your stories. I'm not necessarily going to say I'm not going to like go in the DM and reply to you saying I'm using the story. Sometimes I use stories from months ago. I scroll through. But those are the places where you can submit your stories. Just make sure you are following me on there and then DM me the stories. With that all being said, let's get right back to it. Yeah, so anyways, right, the subscriber at this point is just like, I don't know, he feels a little bit betrayed by his mom here because it's very clear why he doesn't want to do this. He knows it's not that deep. He also knows, like, it's not a big deal. But he also believes that, you know, his little cousin, who's a big brat, right, has always gotten everything that he's ever wanted. And it just doesn't make sense anymore. It just does not make sense. And so the subscriber is kind of looking at his mom to, like, back him up on this. His mom completely backstabs him, doesn't even try and explain his point of view, and is like, yeah, you should listen to your aunt here. Like, maybe you should just let your little cousin, you know, have his way here. Like, really just being like, I don't know. So the subscriber is like, fine, we'll have a joint birthday party. Are you guys happy? And the aunt is like, I would have been happier if you weren't like such a brat about doing this. And that almost set the subscriber off, because the whole reason he didn't want to do this is because how much of a brat his little cousin, you know, the son of the aunt, how much of a brat he is. And the aunt is turning this around and calling the subscriber a brat for not wanting to just like straight up. And look, I also get it. It's not that deep. I know. It's like, who cares? But once again, it's the principle of the matter. So the subscriber's like, whatever. I caved. That's fine. So things are going pretty normally, but eventually we get to the time where it's time for the cake. So since it is now technically a joint birthday party, right? The cake is brought out, it has all the candles, and people are like singing happy birthday. Yeah, so anyways, right, sure enough, there people are singing happy birthday. The cake is out there, it has the candles. And the birthday kid is normally the one who blows out the candles. So what was kind of expected was that, I don't know, maybe they'd both blow out half of it or whatever. And I think that's what, like, the aunt came over and explained to them, like, hey, since it's a joint birthday, and the subscriber rolls his eyes, since it's a joint birthday, like, you guys blow out each, like, half of the cake, right? So before they're even done singing happy birthday, the little cousin blows out all the candles. And everyone's, like, silent for a second, kind of looking at each other. And the little cousin's like, yeah, and the subscriber, look, he's not going to make a big deal. He's not going to, like, sucker punch his little cousin and be like, that's what you get for blowing out my half of the candles. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like, first of all, I'm letting you in on my own birthday party. And you're coming over here and blowing out all the candles? Like, this is a joint party. You asked for a joint party. You didn't ask for a full party, right? So, yeah, the subscriber's a little bit annoyed by that. He looks over at his mom, and his mom is not making eye contact. I think she feels bad. I feel like now she's kind of understanding that, in a way, she did kind of betray her son. Oh, in a little bit. Not nothing too crazy, but in a way, she did kind of betray her son here. So, yeah, the worst part, though, is when we come over to the opening the present stage. That's where things get bad. Because there's not a single present for the little cousin. Because, first of all, his birthday's in 7 months. And two, this happened so last minute that why would there be? Yeah, so this is where things get pretty bad. So people, like, the presents are brought out. The little cousin's sitting, like, right next to the subscriber, which is a little weird because everyone else is sitting somewhere else. Like, they're all standing around. And so presents are, like, brought over, given to the subscriber. He opens them up, trying to be, like, as equally happy for all the presents, which is just a good way to go about it. Personally, for, like, birthday parties, I think for, like, my kids, I don't have kids yet, but when I do, I think if people bring presents, I'm not going to open them there, just to make sure that everyone's feeling good, and so that, son or daughter doesn't have to have, like, forced equal happiness every single time, and they don't have to put on a show. We'll just do it behind the scenes. I think that's a better way to do about it personally. Anyways, though, so after, like, the subscriber keeps on getting presents, the little cousin turns to his aunt and is like, where are my presents? It's like, dude, your birthday's in 7 months, and you also just spawned in like 2 seconds ago. Do you really think people just went out to the store as soon as they heard, oh my God, there's a joint birthday party, let me go to the store and buy some presents? Like, really think that? Anyways, though, so eventually the subscriber opens up something, and it is like the one thing he wanted. Like, okay, he wanted a lot of things, but like the one really thing he wanted, I think it was some Lego Star Wars something. I don't know exactly, but it was like the big present, right? And the little cousin's like, Mom, I want that. And he, like, points to the Lego Star Wars whatever, right? And the aunt, like, turns to the subscriber and says, hey, could you just, like, give that to him, like, just one present? And the subscriber's like, dude. So he's like, hey, like, I'd be more okay giving up something else. Like, this is kind of like the big thing I've wanted. And the aunt's like I've had it with you. Like, first of all, you are so, like, difficult letting this be a shared birthday party, and then you won't give over the one thing my son wants. Yeah, so sure enough, the subscriber is just like, what? So, yeah, the aunt actually forcefully takes the Lego set away from the subscriber and gives it to her son. So the subscriber obviously looks at his mom, and his mom kind of walks over and looks at the aunt and says, hey, this is actually something that, like, my son's been wanting for a second. Like, I think he'd be happy to give up something else. And the aunt is like, but this is the one thing that my son wants. And at this point, the subscriber's mom's like, all right. She's like, look, this is, at the end of the day, this is my son's birthday party. He was nice to allow it to be a joint birthday party. People came here for presents for him. He's being nice enough to say that he would give something else. Like, he's just not giving this up. So eventually the mom did come in clutch, did get the present back to the subscriber, but only came in clutch a little bit too late, you know what I mean? Like, at this point, the subscriber was already down. Like, he had to share a birthday party. He got his candles blown out. He already has to give up another present. So the mom came in clutch in a little bit, but kind of like too little too late, but better than just letting, like, the main present he wanted go to the spoiled little cousin. So yeah, by the end of it, the little cousin and the aunt were, like, very upset, which is absolutely ridiculous, as they got like a lot more than they should have, in a sense. Yeah, so that not the subscriber's greatest birthday right there.